This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
"6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. The President embarks on a 2-day official visit to Singapore. The President emphasizes progress in the tourism sector, that the government is ready to provide the required facilities. Import restrictions will be lifted only after strict supervision, says the State Minister. The IMF review team to arrive on the 14th of September. Many programs at the SLBC to mark the historic Kanda Udarata Perahera. Effective measures have been taken to solve the problems relating to the purchasing of paddy stocks. The water required for the Mahavali H zone farmers is released from the Bovatana reservoir. Applications for the teachers to mark the answer scripts of the Year 5 scholarship ends on the 1st of September. In news overseas, Hurricane Hillary weakens but could still be deadly. In sports news, soccer, England's wait to win a first Women's World Cup title goes on after Spain deservedly triumphed in the final in Sydney. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is set to depart the country today morning for a 2-day official visit to Singapore, the President's media division reports. Throughout this visit, President Wickremesinghe has a series of significant meetings planned, including discussions with Singapore's President, Mrs. Halima Yaqub, and talks with the Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, the Defence Minister N. Eng Hen, the Sustainability and Environment Minister Grace Fu Hai Yen. The latter will engage in bilateral talks with President Wickremesinghe. Under the provisions of Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, countries have the opportunity to collaborate effectively with the objective of reducing global greenhouse gas emissions through international carbon trading. Accordingly, a cooperative understanding concerning carbon neutrality within the framework of the Paris Agreement will be established between the governments of Sri Lanka and Singapore. The signing of this agreement is anticipated after deliberations between President Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Prime Minister of Singapore, the PMD says. Joining the President on this visit will be Sagala Rathnayaka, the Chief of the Presidential Staff and Senior Advisor on National Security, Ruwan Vijayavardhana, Senior Advisor on Climate Change, and Dr. R.H.S. Samaratunga, Senior Advisor on Economic Affairs. The State Minister of Finance Ranjit Siambalapitiya says that the country's import restrictions will be lifted only after strict supervision in order to prevent the emergence of another economic crisis. Speaking to the media yesterday, the State Minister emphasized that a country cannot ban imports in the long term. Quote, "We had to stop over 300,000 HS codes. That's how we protected the foreign reserves, which had become zero and now grown up to $3 billion, unquote, he said. A country cannot ban imports in the long term. The country should gradually be open. Furthermore, he stated that to focus on a positive economy and expand the country's economy, the most important thing is to provide the necessary facilities for international trade. Quote, "When we lift the import ban on any product, we consider all sides. Decisions are made by looking at every aspect, such as the need for the relevant product, its alternatives, and so on," unquote. President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted that the tourism industry stands as a paramount sector capable of swiftly advancing the country's economic objectives. The government, under his leadership, has implemented numerous pivotal measures to foster its growth, the President's media division reports. The President emphasized the significance of substantial contributions from both the public and private sectors. He stressed that the government is diligently working to provide the necessary amenities for all stakeholders involved. Addressing the audience at the inauguration of the Hilton Yala Resort, a luxurious establishment within the Hilton Hotel Group, President Ranil Wickremesinghe underscored the urgent need for comprehensive development in the region. The Yala National Park, frequented by local and international tourists daily, was singled out as a key area for such development, the PMD said in a statement. The Minister of Tourism and Lands, Harin Fernando, speaking at the event, commended President Ranil Wickremesinghe's new initiatives to bolster the tourism industry. He expressed optimism that these efforts could position tourism as a primary revenue source for the country. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, adding his thoughts, expressed his satisfaction in inaugurating the upscale Hilton Hotel in the Yala region. He noted that this move would attract energetic tourists and invigorate the tourism sector. He extended gratitude to Melva and the Hilton Group for their contributions, according to the PMD. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The first Kumal Perahera of the historical Kanda Udarata Dalada Maligawa Asala Perahera will parade the streets tonight. The Perahera will commence at 7 p.m. The Perahera will parade the streets starting from the Dalada Vidya, the DS Nayaka Vidya, the Pansala Road, the Deva Vidya, the Colombo Road and the Yatinuvara Vidya. The elephant in the Raja will participate at today's parade. The national radio, the SLBC, has organized many programs to mark this event. The Vocational Training Authority plans to conduct a special NVQ standard crafts training program. The program aims to train craftsmen in modern designs apart from the traditional system. The training program will commence in Pinnavala. The program is jointly organized by the National Crafts Council and the Vocational Training Authority. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera instructed the relevant officials to solve the problems relating to the purchasing of paddy stocks as soon as possible. There are sufficient funds available in the Paddy Marketing Board. Therefore, there is no issue in purchasing the paddy stocks from farmers, the minister added. Already, paddy stocks have been purchased from the funds available and stored at the government warehouses. The minister also replied to a question raised by MPs during the subcommittee meeting at Parliament recently. Vegetable prices have gone up in the market. Although the whole prices have dropped slightly, retail prices have gone up sharply. The consumers say the prices of a variety of vegetables have increased. The prices have gone up due to the prevailing dry weather conditions, cultivators say.
Listen, no fake news, false flags, it is the real thing. Breaking records, making history, you know we got the big bling. 10 billion bonus all across the island. Ka-ching! Not millions, talking billions, yeah, it is the big win.
History's highest ever short bonus declaration for SLIC life policyholders in 2022 exceeds 10 billion rupees.
10 billion bonus gonna make your dreams come true. 10 billion bonus for you.
Sri Lanka Insurance, like a father, like a mother.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Water required for the Mahavali H-zone farmers is released from the Bovatana reservoir. The decision is taken to help the farmers during this dry weather condition. The irrigation department has taken effective measures in this regard to release the water on time.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
Health officials warn that several diseases are rapidly spreading among children with the prevailing dry weather conditions in the island. Dr. Deepal Pereira, a specialist doctor at the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital in Colombo, states that conditions such as dehydration are common within children these days. Therefore, Dr. Pereira also recommends that children should be provided with more liquids during these days. Furthermore, the specialist doctor claims that diseases like diarrhea can also spread widely among children with the prevailing dry weather conditions.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
And now in world news headlines. Hurricane Hillary weakens but could still be deadly. The West Bank, 2 Israelis killed in suspected Palestinian shooting near Huwara. Niger coup leader Jen Chiani promises to hand over power in 3 years. Hurricane Hillary has weakened as it heads towards Mexico's Pacific coast and California, but could still cause life-threatening flooding, U.S. Met warns. With winds of 85 miles per hour, it has been downgraded to a Category 1 storm. Heavy rain lashed parts of Mexico's Baja California peninsula and the southwestern U.S. overnight. 1 man died after being swept away while crossing a stream in Baja California, an official said. An Israeli father and son have been killed in a suspected Palestinian shooting attack in the occupied West Bank. It happened near the village of Huwara, which has been the scene of previous deadly attacks on Israelis and rampages by Jewish settlers in retribution. The shooting took place at a car wash. The gunman is said to have approached on foot and opened fire with a handgun. Niger's coup leader has promised to return the West African nation to civilian rule within 3 years. Abdurrahman Chiani made the announcement after meeting mediators from the West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS in the capital Niamey. ECOWAS has threatened military action to reverse last month's overthrow of President Mohamed Bazoum if talks fail. The junta had said that Niger did not want a war but would defend itself against any foreign intervention. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Hurricane Hillary weakens but could still be deadly. West Bank, 2 Israelis killed in suspected Palestinian shooting near Huwara. Niger coup leader Jen Chiani promises to hand over power in 3 years. That was world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities from Deshakti Lanka in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, including company housemaid, salary 156,000 rupees, 23 to 57 years. Contact 037 7500 500.
The Indian budget carrier SpiceJet will commence flight services between Madurai in India and Colombo from today. Earlier in July, SpiceJet confirmed plans to resume 6 times weekly from Madurai and the Colombo flight service from August 20th, 2023 in its official online booking system. Accordingly, the budget carrier will operate flights between India's Madurai and the Bandaranaike International Airport in Kattanayake, Colombo, 6 days a week except on Wednesday. While announcing the matter, SpiceJet expressed that we hope the direct flight will help boost tourism between the 2 countries.
Job opportunities for women from Deshakti Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Company housemaids, caretakers and home cooks in Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can now travel overseas free of charge. Branches: Colombo, Kurunegala, Anuradhapura and Mathura. Contact number 037 7500 500. Deshakti Lanka Foreign Development Agency.
And now in sports news, in soccer, the Women's World Cup, the Lionesses, looking to become the first England senior side since the men's team in 1966 to win the World Cup, suffered heartbreak after being outplayed by a Spanish side full of flair and creativity. England's players fell to their knees in tears at the final whistle as Spain celebrated inside their penalty area after dealing with the final corner kick in the 14th minute of nerve-wracking stoppage time. Spain captain Olga Carmona slotted the winner past goalkeeper Mary Ebbs in the first half, capitalising after England's Lucy Bronze lost possession in the midfield. England's manager Serena Wegman, who has now lost 2 successive World Cup finals, introduced Lauren James and Chloe Kelly at half-time, but Spain maintained control despite the Lionesses' best efforts.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Windforce plc, in collaboration with Lakdanavi Limited and the Blue Circle Private Limited, is set to undertake Sri Lanka's largest private sector renewable energy project. This is a 100-megawatt solar power plant with a transmission facility to be set up in Siambalandua in the Mondragala district. With a total investment of $152 million, this landmark venture represents a significant milestone in the country's transition towards clean energy. Scheduled for completion before the end of 2025, the project will not only enhance Windforce's installed capacity by nearly 30%, but also showcase the expertise and commitment of all consortium partners involved.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news, an International Monetary Fund IMF mission team will be in Sri Lanka from the 14th of September to the 27th. This is to conduct the first review of an extended fund facility arrangement. Sri Lanka also has met several suggested benchmarks, including the approval of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka Bill and the Anti-Corruption Bill, and has overachieved key IMF quantitative performance criteria through tax revenues and other reforms.
Weather report.
The Met Department says except for a few showers in the western and Sabaragama provinces and in the Gala and Mathura districts, mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Fairly strong winds, about 40 to 45 kilometers per hour, can be expected at times in the western slopes of the Central Hills, the northern, north central and northwestern provinces, and in the Trikunamalaya, Hambantota and Mondragala districts. This weather report was issued at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. That was the weather report. And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The President embarks on a 2-day official visit to Singapore. The President emphasizes progress in the tourism sector, that the government is ready to provide the required facilities. Import restrictions will be lifted only after strict supervision, says the State Minister. The IMF review team to arrive on the 14th of September. Many programs at the SLBC to mark the historic Kanda Udarata Perahera. Effective measures have been taken to solve the problems relating to the purchasing of paddy stocks. The water required for the Mahavali H zone farmers is released from the Bovatana reservoir. The applications for the teachers to mark the answer scripts of the Year 5 scholarship ends on the 1st of September. In news overseas, Hurricane Hilary weakens but could still be deadly. In sports news, soccer, England's wait to win a first Women's World Cup title goes on after Spain deservedly triumphed in the final in Sydney. That concludes this news broadcast.